All right, guys, welcome back. So I'm going to start things off by saying if I look a little weird right now in the face, I just got done at the dentist, had a couple of cavities filled. So if I sound weird or look weird, like I got punched in the face or something, I did not. I literally just got back from the dentist. I was laying in the chair, and then the news came out that Spencer Bayston is departing the CJB Motorsports number 5 car. And obviously, we all knew this was coming, right? I mean, it was the worst kept secret in the sprint car world, maybe besides Justin Peck leaving the 13. And we got to talk about it here on the channel today. So we've got it up on the whiteboard, and I also want to remind you guys that my tripod is still broken. I have not gotten the new one yet, so if it looks like the angles are a little off, it's because my tripod broke yesterday, and we're trying to get that fixed up. So here we go. We'll talk about Spencer Bayston here today. Ends a 3-year partnership with CJB Motorsports, and as far as I know, Spencer Bayston was one of the very few, maybe I would say there's 3 guys, maybe, in sprint car racing that have a contract with their car. Spencer Bayston was one of those guys. He had a 3-year contract with CJB Motorsports, and it comes to an end after 2024. So he first started his career with CJB full-time with the World of Outlaws in 2022. He had 67 starts that year, first year in the car. He had 2 wins, 16 top 5s, 39 top 10s. He led 72 laps. He had an average finish of 10.6. An 8th place points finish, and he was the Rookie of the Year in 2022 with the Outlaws. Then in 2023, he comes back, a couple more starts, and I can tell I'm sounding so dumb right now, but I'm trying my best. I was trying to drink a coffee earlier, could not get anything through the straw, so whatever. We're not going to wait. We're going to keep going. 70 starts in 23 with the Outlaws. He had 1 win that year, a top 5 top 10s, 10 top 5s and 39 top 10s once again. 17 laps led, an average finish of 11.1, and once again an 8th place finish in the overall point standings with the Outlaws. That 1 win should have an asterisk next to it because it was a race that was shortened due to a crash at the Peevely I-55 Speedway, Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. The race got shortened when Corey Day wrecked and tore the fence down. Spencer Bayston was credited with the win there, but should have an asterisk next to that number 1. And then with High Limit this year, the team made the switch to High Limit. He had 49 starts this year, 0 wins, 13 top 5s, 27 top 10s. He had 5 laps led, and he had an average finish of 10.7. And is he the best of all time, finishing 8th in the point standings? My answer is yes. 3 years on a full-time national tour, and he finished 8th in points every single time. Spencer, nice job being consistent, I will tell you that. Now, looking at some other things here before we get into the bottom part of the board. This team did win more than those 3 races right there that we've got on the board. They won one of their first ever weekends together, and it happened at the Port Royal Speedway with the Outlaws before they were a full-time organization. They won at Port Royal during the Nittany Showdown, dominated that race. I was there for that one. They also won at the Bristol Motor Speedway, holding off Kyle Larson in a pretty good duel towards the end of the race. So 2 big wins there, Port Royal and Bristol. He also got a win at the Houston Speedway. He got a win at the I-55 Raceway, as I mentioned a moment ago, and those were the 4 wins with the team. Yes, that is correct. So in 3 years, they had 4 wins, 3 of those coming when they were actually on the full-time national tour, the other one coming before they actually went out on the road. Now, let's look at some of the stuff at the bottom of the board here. So SprintCarRatings.com this year has Spencer Bayston, according to their rating system, as the 29th best driver in the country in sprint car racing. Now, over the last 2 years, he is 26th on their list, and that list goes through how many races they've won, how many times they ran top 5, top 10, what the competition is they're racing against, money earned, all that kind of stuff. That's what goes into the rating system on SprintCarRatings.com. And Spencer Bayston, over the last 2 years, 26th out of all the 410 drivers in the country. Now, you can agree or disagree with that, but I'm just going off what SprintCarRatings.com has. And I think he has a fantastic website that I use a ton on this channel. And so I'm going to give him a little credit here. I'm going to say 26 is pretty darn close for Spencer Bayston with how he's been running. Now, the question is, where does he go next? Does he go with High Limit? Does he go with the Outlaws? Does True Timber come back and sponsor whatever car he goes to? And we don't know what car that is. Everybody is saying that Jason Myers Racing 14, Corey Day going to NASCAR, going to be running a part-time sprint car schedule. And, we heard Jason Myers at the banquet with High Limit that he is supporting this series. He is going to be back next year with a car in the field. And a lot of people are pointing at Spencer Bayston as being the driver of that car. Have not heard any confirmation if that is the truth or not. But if that is the truth, I do think that would be a really good spot for Spencer to land. And that is a car that is very, very, very good. Shane Bowers as the crew chief, Jason Myers as the team owner. That is a pretty formidable combo. And I think Spencer Bayston would fit in pretty well there. It's a relatively younger team, and obviously Spencer is a pretty young guy. And I think that would have worked out pretty well if that was the case. Obviously, we don't know, but my guess is he will more than likely come back on the High Limit Tour next year. Now, who fills the seat of the number 5 might be the bigger question mark of this entire thing. Everybody and their brother's dog and the brother's dog's aunt thinks that Justin Peck is going to the CJB Motorsports number 5. I can almost guarantee you that that is not the case. With 90% certainty, I can tell you that Justin Peck is not the driver of the CJB Motorsports number 5 next year. And yeah, and that is kind of recent news. So I feel like, I even thought it was happening. Everybody thought that Justin Peck was the guy next year at CJB. Guys, I hate to break it to you, and I was looking through Facebook and Twitter comments, and everybody's saying Peck to the 5, Bayston to the 14. One of those things is definitely not going to happen, and it's the Peck part. Okay, I'm just letting you know. And so, yeah, I can't go into any further detail, but I did find out who is more than likely the driver after the banquet on Sunday at the High Limit Racing deal in Texas. So Ty Wolfgang, he will also be the crew chief next year on this CJB car for the first time in a long time. CJB Motorsports' car will not be crew chief by Barry Jackson. Barry, as we know, is stepping out of the full-time, on the road situation and will be the team manager going forward for CJB. Ty Wolfgang, if you are not familiar, has been the car chief for Brad Sweet's number 49 team for the last couple of years here on the Outlaw Tour as well as on the High Limit Tour this year. Ty has worked for a bunch of different teams in the past as well. One that comes to mind is Brock Zierfoss. He worked for him a little bit as well when he was on the Outlaw Tour, or Brock is still on the Outlaw Tour, but a couple of years ago when Brock was just getting going on the Outlaw Tour. But Wolfgang has learned a lot, obviously, from Eric Prutzman over the last couple of years. And so it is going to be interesting to see how quickly he can adapt to being the guy in charge of putting the car on the racetrack and making sure it goes fast. And obviously, you're going to need a good driver to do that as well. We will wait to find out who that driver is because I'm telling you, I'll get into that more in just a moment. But I want to say this as well. We see it all the time in sports. A change of scenery is huge for some players. And I think that is the exact same case with Spencer Bayston. I think a change of scenery, a change of, walking into a different trailer every night and talking to a different crew chief and a different set of crew guys and a new car and a new fresh start, I think is exactly what Spencer Bayston needs. In my opinion, I think he can still get the job done. He proved there at the very end of the year with High Limit that he can get going and be consistent and be fast. He had 5 top 5 finishes in a row, the best he had been in a long time in that car. I'm not sure what changed there at the end, but they started qualifying well. He was racing well all year, could not qualify, but 5 top 5s at the end of the year with High Limit in a row. And you could tell that Spencer Bayston can still get the job done. And if you think he can't, then, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Spencer Bayston is young. He is hungry to win races and to run well and be higher than 8th in a championship point standings thing. So Spencer Bayston, I think a change of scenery would help him immensely. And if he does go to the Jason Myers Racing 14, it's a pretty good team to go to. If you don't, 8 or 9 wins this year with Corey Day, 10 wins with Corey Day this year. Obviously, Corey Day and Spencer Bayston don't exactly have the same type of driving style, but we know that the car is fast each and every night, and Spencer is a more than capable driver. If that is the case, I want to reiterate that as well. We do not know if that is happening 100%. Now, the final thing I've got here, the driver that I have heard is going to shock everyone. And 90% of people are not going to see this coming. When I was told who this driver was that is taking over the 5 car next year, there was like 6 people that know, like 5 or 6 people, right? So it is a very under the radar thing, and it's going to be coming out soon because they're going to race that Bridgeport, whatever it's called, the Dirty Jersey 30 or whatever, right before World Finals, the weekend before World Finals, the first race for CJB with the new driver, with Ty Wolfgang on the wrenches, I believe. That might be wrong. I don't know if Ty Wolfgang will be there for that Dirty Jersey race or whatever, but the new driver will be running at that Bridgeport Motorsports Park race. And so it's got to have to come out soon who this new guy is, and it's going to shock everyone. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, but we're going to be trying to have all the information for you here on the Rodman Rundown. Spencer Bayston, a good run with CJB Motorsports, and a good friend of mine, and I hope to see him get that JMR ride, the 14 car, if that is the case. If not, then I'm sure he'll find something. Spencer Bayston is a more than capable driver. He's won on the biggest levels. He's young. He's marketable. A lot of people like him. He's got a good reputation in the pit area. And so I am excited to see where he ends up. And I hope it is with High Limit, because he is one of my favorite guys that we have out there on the tour, and always gracious with his time and, on the gas when it comes to being on the racetrack as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully here soon we will find out more information on all of the scenarios going on when it comes to this whiteboard right here, and we'll have the answers for you right here on the channel. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.